Welcome, Engine Cadet, and you'll be doing this part 2 of the series, and maybe there's part 3 and part 4. Okay, the first question is about the compressor. You tell me everything you know about air compressor performance.
Okay. Air compressor performance test. So usually this air compressor performance test is the data. The makers do not provide this performance test data. Usually they don't provide it. So the most vital thing there is that the first crew on board the ship must be the one to make this performance test of this air compressor, so that there would be a basis of what is the capacity of the compressor with regards in filling up the air, how long does it take, and so that this the following the next batch of crew who will be going on board will be able to compare the deviation of the current capacity of the air compressor and the previous data that were gathered by the first crew on board. There are prior things we need to prepare during air compressor performance test. So we must make sure that our air compressor is in excellent condition. That means that filters are clean, these valves are not overdue, and all maintenance that should be carried out is being done. So to simply say it, our air compressor must be in perfect shape before carrying out the performance test. So during performance test, how much time does our air compressor fill up air, like from pressure A to pressure B? Let's say from the cut in cut off, like from 15 bars cutting in of compressor, how long does it take before reaching 30 bar, which is our cut off our compressor. We need to take note of that, and we also need to take note of the parameters during our performance test, like seawater temperature, engine room temperature, cooling water temperature, so on and so forth, because we would also need this one so we could compare it, like previous performance were, for example, 25 engine room temperature. So then this month we are doing with 27. There would be a difference between those conditions. So we must also take into consideration these factors.
What are the important daily maintenance of the air compressor?
So the daily maintenance of an air compressor is mostly our daily checks. First of all, we need to check this our lube oil sump. We need to know what is normal, so that we could be able to determine what is abnormal sound and vibration of the air compressor. We also need to check the parameters of the air compressor, if it's in normal range, the cooling temperature, air temperature, this if the lube oil pressure is also normal range.
18. Enumerate the safety devices fitted in the air compressor.
So safety devices fitted in air compressor is safety valve. We have the first safety valve. We also have this bursting plate, and also the trips. This low lube oil pressure trip, and also high temperature trip.
Okay, good. And we have scenario here. These scenarios, a lot of followers had consulted me on this, and I have solved this issue also, but just to share to them. Okay, the scenario is you are in a humid area and found oil and water emulsion, and then the condition is you've checked the coolers already and you found nothing, no leaking. And what do you think is the cause of emulsion?
So most probable cause of having emulsion in your air compressor is since we have this breather in our crankcase, we need to check, because this breather has this non-return functionality. So it means that the humid air from outside could not enter the crankcase. So we need to check if this breather is working normally, because if the non-return function is not working, there might be a possibility that humid air will go to our crankcase, and when it stops, this air will condense and will accumulate water from the start stopping of our compressor. Then through time will accumulate water inside our crankcase.
The purpose of the unloader.
So the main purpose of our unloader, the air compressor, is to release the trapped air in our air compressor, so to prevent high torque starting. So it's a protection for our motor, sir. So also it's one purpose is also to drain the water in our coolers during intermittent operation.
Yeah. Okay. There is one question also additional here. When does it work?
As I've mentioned, I already mentioned the first two. It's first is during starting. Well, we can hear a distinct sound during starting, like a psh, like that one. That means it's releasing the trapped air to prevent high torque starting of the air compressor. And the second is when our compressor is running, the unloading in an intermittent manner during stopping. Also, it's draining the water and releasing air during stopping. So
okay, so during intermittent operation and stopping, does it mean it's protecting the motor?
it's just draining the water.
It's only draining the water, because there's no sense like you open it just to unload. Because for the boiler, okay, as an engineer in charge, what is the first maintenance you should ensure to protect the tubes?
So the first maintenance we must ensure to protect our tubes is to check our boiler water condition. So because this boiler water is the one which is directly in contact with our tube, so we must carry out boiler water testing to check if this our boiler water is in good condition.
Number 22, how to check ignition failure and flame failure.
So to check ignition failure, so first we must remove our flame eye, then we start the burner so that it will detect ignition failure. So going on, flame failure, so we first start the burner, and when it's firing already, we remove the flame eye to get this flame failures.
Okay, the next is number 23. What are the safety devices of boiler?
Safety devices of a boiler, first of all, is our safety valve, a low water level trip, and also high water level trip. We also have the failures, which I've mentioned earlier, which is the flame failure and the ignition failure.
Why do we need to keep the cascade tank temperature as high as possible?
To reduce the chances of having dissolved oxygen in our cascade tanks.
To prevent corrosion. When you notice white smoke or black smoke, what do you think is the cause?
Fuel and air ratio is imbalanced, so in our ratio the air is more than the fuel. So, but it does not necessarily mean that the air we are giving is more. It may be that the fuel is less in the ratio, that's why the air is showing that it's more in the ratio. Because this dampers is
Fixed already.
yeah, it's
factory set.
Factory set. So usually we don't go in the air side, we check in the fuel side. So we check if ratio of white smoke, air is more, so fuel is less. We must check if this if our nozzle is choked, our filters we're not giving enough pressure.
Yeah.
We also have to check that one.
And that you have justified it a while ago, because we encountered the same trouble, right? Yeah, so everything is justified.
Yes, and then
Being a cadet. Yeah.
in black smoke is the opposite. So we also need to check the fuel side. Maybe our nozzle is not atomizing, so it's like spraying fuel, so it's giving more fuel. That's why we have coming this black smoke. We also have to check the viscosity of our fuel side.
Yes, most vital of this, because different batch of fuel, like different bunker we're using. We exhausted the last one, and we have lesser viscosity than what we are using, because this viscosity temperature also have to maintain.
To provide good atomization.
Atomization, yeah, this is vital. Okay, number 26. Explain the importance of boiler blowdown.
Remove the impurities that were settle down in the bottom, and some also surfaces in the water, because during our chemical dosing, these impurities, we precipitate the impurities. That's why some will surface and some will go down, so we need to like bottom blow down and also surface blow down.
Yeah, good. It doesn't mean when you do the test and you find it good, so you must do the regular blowdown, because that's a function of our dosing. They precipitate all those. What is precipitate, by the way?
Precipitate basically means to break down.
Break down all those impurities that is not, yeah, it doesn't settle down, doesn't float. Function of dosing. Explain the importance of level gauge glass blowdown.
Level gauge glass blowdown, the boilers, just to make sure that our gauge glass is showing accurate level of the boiler water drop.
Prevent accumulation of dirt on the
Yes.
passage of the valves. You have to make sure also valves are working.
Yes.
Yeah, and the line is not choked. So this must be done in a regular manner. Okay, I have situation again here. When you are at sea and found boiler feed water pump is malfunctioning, it's actually steaming. What is the first action you'll take?
The first action we will take is to reduce the speed of our ship. It's because we need to reduce the exhaust gas temperature which is going to our boiler, to prevent the fast steaming and the rapid lowering of the level of our boiler. We need water in our boiler to prevent explosions.
Yeah, that's the first action, reduce the RPM. Number 29, what is the normal pH value of boiler water?
The normal pH value of boiler water is 9.5.
Okay, 9.5 because some interviewers do not want you to answer the range. One value, 9.5. Okay? And then the number 30, the last number. What is the correct sequence of valve when you carry out blowdown and why?
Okay. So when carrying out blowdown, so the most important concept of the sequence of this opening of the valves is we must protect our ship side valve, which is ship side overboard valve. So first we must open this ship side overboard valve.
That's
Then,
number one.
That's number one.
Let's consider ship side as number one.
Number one, sir.
Okay.
Then second is this valve in our boiler, our blowdown valve. We
Yeah.
open it. So when we open it, there will be
Hammering.
But
Yeah.
since we still did not open our intermittent valve
Yeah.
in between the two valves,
Yeah.
so the hammering will go to the intermittent valve, not to the
Yeah.
ship side valve, because we need to protect the
Ship side
Ship
valve.
side valve.
Because if you have problem with ship side valve, you need a diver to blind the ship side for us to open the valve. So we can damage the intermediate valve, the middle valve.
because we can change it.
We can change it because we still have the ship side valve. But if you damage the ship side valve, it's not that easy.